Hello. Welcome back to Mack Being Me podcast episode 34. This is a special one. We had a beautiful soul on the podcast, Mia Dins, and just finished the pod. So I felt like we'll introduce Mia, a very incredible soul, someone close to me, uh, a mirror for the way that I am in a lot of ways. We first met through the Awakening program and also her Awakening coach. And just a lot of the stuff we talk about throughout this podcast, we had very similar experiences within our life experience through childhood, through not expressing our emotions, through suppressing a lot of it, and then just finding our way through finding ourselves. So someone that I really love to talk to every time, because every time I talk to her, she's a bubbly of energy, bubbling up and positive, and just an incredible soul. So no doubt you'll feel that. Allow yourself to feel this one. Mia Dins. Without any further ado, here we go. Much love.
Here we go.
Hello. I'm just trying to get the lighting.
That's okay. Great.
You got the
That's
headphones.
beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah, I have the headphones on. Yay.
Yeah, this one's that was from Janina for my birthday. Looks
Nice.
so
I love it.
Yeah. 1 second.
I
I just
love
got to
that
light it up.
No, you go.
Oh yeah. We're not starting yet as well, Mia. We're just we'll warm up. I've got to warm myself up.
Of course, I need to because I mean, you have done it before a couple of times. I haven't done it yet. So
Yeah. No, it's all
what
good.
chakra is that in the background? Is it the throat chakra because it's blue?
Is it the throat chakra? Because that's interesting because that came up once in my Reiki session. Like that was blocked for me, the throat chakra.
Yeah, it would definitely it's definitely a big thing in your life about the communication expression about yourself. Yeah, that's why I thought that would have been the perfect gift, you know? Yeah.
That
I
is
believe so.
hilarious.
I'm not sure. I know the heart chakra, but I just thought because of the color, it looks like the throat chakra, just intuitively. Yeah. Thought
Let's
of
have a look.
that.
What color? Let's have a look. Hey, what color is the throat chakra?
I need the shape, the shape. They have these shapes.
Yeah.
Um
The throat chakra is associated with the color blue. It's thought that blue is a calming effect on the body. Some people also associate blue with communication, honesty, and empathy. There
mm-hmm.
you go.
Bang on.
Bang on. All right. I just got to turn that light
Uh,
off in the background there. 1 second.
Okay.
And let me get some sage.
Oh, I love it. I have my sage going too.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And I have my crystals and everything.
Nice.
I love your little space there. It looks nice.
It's so cool. Uh, like a little cruiser table with 3 Buddhas.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's nice there. All right. It was a bit chaotic from this morning. And then I've got some.
Chaotic. You should see my space. I love it. The real sage. Yay.
Yeah.
I love that.
And was that where is it? Can you hear me okay with that microphone? Is that a good sound?
Yeah, that's good. I like that sound. Yeah.
Oh, nice. Nice. I can hear you very good.
Okay, perfect. I feel like with headphones it's much better. Yeah. You can just cancel all the outside noise a little bit.
Yeah. That's why I used to love on the awakening calls too, just rocking the headphones because it sort of just like tunes you in.
Yeah. Yeah.
You just drop into the stillness straight away.
Yes.
All right, so 34. I was curious, like I wonder which episode was the last episode that I did with like someone else because I think it's been a while.
Hasn't it been Matt? Or nah, that was me watching it. But maybe Jaden. Didn't you have an episode with Jaden?
Yep, I had Jaden. That was far out. That was a while ago. Let's have a look. Episode 19 was my cousin Brooke, and she was like a yogi. She was like a yoga facilitator she was in Sri Lanka
Ah, yeah.
at
Oh,
the time.
cool.
Yeah, so she's from like the same sort of village as me, Kalgoorlie, like a little place called Campbell, which is half an hour away from Kalgoorlie, and she's just had her own little awakening, and she was like in the corporate world, in the business sector, and then she broke up with her boyfriend, and then she had this. She was very spiritual, but then she had this big awakening of like, I'm just going to go explore. And she started traveling, going to Bali, and all these little synchronicities came after like studying yoga and becoming a yoga teacher,
Mm-hmm.
which is
Mm-hmm.
really cool.
Oh,
And that was,
beautiful. I love
yeah,
that.
yeah, and that was the last real chat that we had. Besides me talking to myself on a microphone. So this is gonna be
I
cool.
love that. I really love you have such a calming energy, like just beautiful, and you just talk freely. You literally are authentic. You can feel there is no script. Sure, you have some thoughts, you have some pointers, we all do. But there's no script, you just go with the flow, which I really enjoy. Yeah.
Yeah,
So I love
that's it.
tuning in. And I always listen, I always hear what I need to hear. It always pops up for me when I need to hear it. Yeah.
Yeah,
And then I listen to it. So I never search, I'm like, oh, Mark up to gonna listen to it. It just pops up. Yeah.
yeah.
So
That's the same. That's the same
beautiful.
that I have with you with your little TikTok videos, because I've been getting into TikTok lately, and I've seen that you're popping up on the daily doing those little videos, which is so beautiful to
Yeah.
see.
Yeah, that was I started doing it on Instagram, and then I thought, what the heck? It's just a manual like step that I need to do, to put it out there. And when I see you and Kenji and Katie, my little circle, my little tribe there, that's always what pops up. When you have to wait until you upload your reel, you have to
Yeah,
wait until it's fully complete. And during that time, there's your video, then I watch yours, and Kenji, Katie, and so it's always the same, which I like, because it's always perfectly, yeah, guided what I need to
yeah,
hear. Yeah,
that's
so
beautiful.
beautiful.
Is
Mm.
Katie on TikTok?
It's a new experience, eh?
Yeah,
Katie Albie. Yes, yeah,
Katie
yeah.
help me. Yeah,
She's on TikTok too. Yeah,
I'll check her
yeah.
out.
She would be a good person to talk to as well.
True.
Yeah.
I think the biggest
She
thing for
does
me is time.
I remember.
You
Yeah,
go.
I know. I know. Tell me about it. Time, right? It was funny, Katie. I'm not sure if you coached her at some point, but I only remember her from replays. Because we were never in the same class during the awakening program.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember her, and I thought, oh yeah, I felt the energy, but nothing, didn't think anything to it. And then when I started seeing her on TikTok, I was like, oh yeah, I like her. And then one day she approached me, I think, and then we started collaborating. So we're actually business partners since about, I don't know, 2 weeks time. We collaborating, we're doing moon ceremonies together. So because she brings in, from her knowledge about the chakras and, the energy work, working with the energy centers of the body. And also she has an amazing voice for meditation. She has this calming energy. She has like free meditations on, what's it called, Spotify.
Mm,
So I just love her voice. And so I will bring in the moon wisdom, and give the updates about that. And then, we have a guided meditation during that process, where people just go deep on the subconscious and whatever's coming up. So for the new moon, it will be about intentions. For the full moon, about what needs to be released and letting go. Although that can both happen at either or. It's not like a linear process, but just that's what you say about the moon cycle. So yeah, it's beautiful. So we work together. We had already one ceremony together 2 weeks ago for the new moon Pisces. Oh, that was a biggie. I know we spoke about it, right?
yeah.
That was very deep with feeling. I mean, you are a Pisces. You have like a few more planets in Pisces, but it was really about you really feeling, experiencing, going really deep, really also letting go. Acceptance and forgiveness was a big topic. I get goosebumps again every time
Yeah.
I say that. It was just a very beautiful energy. But yeah, it hit some people really hard, especially people I work with. They really were. not used to it feeling so deep. And also intuition was heightened, emotions, and especially those who have lost loved ones, they felt like they're pulled back to that time when they lost them. This is how intense the emotion was.
Mm.
And it's always just for us to see another layer, to see something, we haven't seen, to heal. And I think I said it, this cliche, you need to feel in order to heal. And that is very important. And that's why today, even I found it beautiful. You expressed yourself with, your anger, and you were like basically pissed off. Sorry, I'm using this language. I'm just real.
Perfect.
Um, and I was thinking, but I knew I didn't need to tell you. I said, just feel, because the moment you feel and allow the anger in and invite it in, you would just detach just easily. And I knew you're gonna be relaxed the moment we meet. I just knew it. I just saw it and felt it. So yeah, and I learned that too, because anger, it's an emotion, right? That is labeled so bad. Yeah, and I experienced it in childhood, with the violence with my father and stuff, and then at the same time, society tells you don't be angry. It's not good. So I had to learn to really allow myself to feel whatever it is. Yeah, and to even swear. I think I used to be like, oh, don't swear, but it's actually good. I'm not doing it hard out, but just expressing. And I feel like the moment you do, it's like it goes, and you just feel relaxed. Yeah.
We've dropped in, ladies and gentlemen. We've dropped in, mate. Like you fully dropped me into this moment. Oh my God. Like, thank you for that. There's so much. And just to preface what you're saying with the anger, and I think I might even just re-record like an intro later on, because we're here now. The anger that I was feeling, that I was mentioning to you, is because someone has hacked into my Facebook account and I can't access it. And so had a beautiful morning this morning, taking the girls to school, and every Tuesday, my wife Janina and I and Maya, we go to the beach, and that's our like little date, our turn to really check in with each other, because it's quite busy, being in the role of mum and dad, and taking the girls to school, and we got to do this and this and this. But Tuesdays is when we can actually really tap in and just have beautiful conversations. And today, yeah, we're at Trig Beach, and we decided to jump into the ocean, which was so nice. Coming back out, we finished. We had a coffee, had an awesome conversation. Back into the car, driving back, and then before we drive away, I'm like on my phone. I'm like, oh, just check Facebook to see if I can actually log back in. And I had a look in the emails, and they gave me a code. And as soon as I got the code, it's sent to my email, and it also sent to this other email, which is this other person who's now logged in as me on Facebook. And as soon as I seen that, I'm pissed off. Like, there he is, he exists, and he's logging,
Yeah.
trying to take my identity. And I went through that of like being really pissed off and like trying to log in, and of course the code wasn't working, the 6-digit code. It didn't actually work, and I was doing it a number of times, and I'm like, no, this is not happening. And then I was messaging you, telling you, yeah, I'm just going through this, experiencing it. And then I was just like pissed off, and Janina ended up driving home for us. Normally I just drive, but she's like, do you want me to drive? I'm like, yeah, actually, okay. Well, I was just attempting to log back in, and then I was just like, no, fuck it. And I was saying like, fuck this guy. Like, really just like, like expressing it. And she's like, oh, but like, it's so beautiful, because how often do we actually get to express how we're feeling in the moment, and not worried about, actually swearing or expressing your anger. That was a huge one for me as well. And no doubt that's another reason why we resonate so much, Mia, is because like, obviously you're very much a mirror of me. And throughout our childhood as well, like for me, it was like I was very much suppressed with my emotions. I wasn't able to express fully. And with that, I would just internalize all my anger, and just, I wouldn't allow myself to feel it. I would suppress it. And so now it's a flip side of waking up to realizing, as a human being, feelings are to be felt. And the freedom that you feel when you just fully express yourself in those moments, and just like, yeah, I'm driving, or my wife's driving, and I'm fucking angry because this person is intimidating me, trying to be me and log into my account. So of course that's the natural response, is to feel pissed off. Like, what else are you meant to feel?
And I love that. I don't know why I got tears while you were talking, but I got goosebumps and tears. It was really crazy right now. I just need to express that. And just because it's so beautiful, It is also shown in your birth chart, exactly what you just said, the suppressing of emotion, and that this is one of your biggest challenges actually also in this lifetime, to really fully express yourself and to just let go and to experience it without judging yourself, sabotaging yourself. Of course, to an extent we all do, but especially for you in your birth chart, this is really about the third house and the throat chakra, which is all related to communication and expressing. And yeah, it is shown in your childhood for sure. It was suppressed. You have a sister, right?
I had two
Do you?
brothers. I've got an older brother
Two
who's
brothers,
4 years older, and then a younger
older
brother
brother.
who's yeah.
For some reason, I thought you have a sister, but yeah, and they were like, your older brother, was he kind of like taking charge a little bit and suppressing you, and he was expressing
Sure.
himself a lot, and you were like just feeling like, oh, like I stand back and I just watch, like intimidated basically, or shut down. Shut down is the energy. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That was, I could see that. Interesting. I love it. Also with Janina, that because the Akashic records, what I do, I do like so many things as an intuitive. It's always hard to bring it down into what actually are you doing, like to nail it down. But I think there are three things, which is obviously intuition. Then I use the Akashic records, like, which is, have you heard about them? The soul
Yeah.
records? Yeah, yeah. So like I always say the best image you can have is like it's a big library in the ether, like that contains all the information of your past lives, your current lives, and your future lives, and we all have access to it. We are actually in the Akashic records right now because I tuned in for us. So we're doing this right now in the Akashic records.
Wow.
So we have done that before, just a memory. And what I could see, I just jump into it, right? We said we're going to do like an intuitive reading a little bit. So we can just work with that. And from there will be topics that we talk about. And when I tuned into your Akashic records, that was amazing because I could feel you floating on a river, although it wasn't a river, it was a river of light, and I could see you being really relaxed, and it was like really taking you, and you had like this position you do like on the beach, and you just relax, and you were just floating. It was so beautiful. And so really, really, that is a big sign that you are on your path, that you really am stepping into your full power now with everything you do. I know there's lots going on and it's busy, but just know, like from a soul level, you really started to step into your full power. I mean, you opened the Pandora box already a couple of years back, as we know, and then through the awakening, then going through all these experiences, but you more and more being relaxed, and you let it just flow. And then I could see people were waving. They're like, when you imagine like a river and they're on the side, like people were waving at you and like, like cheering you on. It's like, it was almost like these are your people. This is your tribe. And they're just, like supporting you, and they're happy to see you, like those islands that are like very far away from the mainland and from people, like, and they're always happy when someone comes to deliver something or is just coming to see them because it's new energy and input. This is how it felt. And you are like, it's almost like you help to awaken all these hidden souls and tribes and people, which you already doing. So I really could feel that energy, and you could shake hands. Honestly, to them, you're like a celebrity. To them, like, you're like, oh my gosh, she's coming now. And, and I know it's something out of your comfort zone, but it's very much what you're here for. And you're bringing this healing energy, and this magical touch, this light to people. So this is definitely something that I saw, which is very beautiful. And yeah, it definitely is. You're on the right path. And then all of a sudden, Janina's face came up, and then but she appeared to be in a heart. So it was in a heart shape, which for me was a symbol of like, you definitely, she's in your heart. You love her very much. And I also feel like that you guys are on a next level in your relationship. Like I felt all these butterflies. When you see someone the first time. And this is how I felt. And so I know that you guys are, you fall in love again, but on a deeper level, which is so beautiful. That's why I feel like I got the tears before when you described how Janina was just saying, oh, I'm going to try. And you can have your, tantrum, and you can just express and do what you need to do. And that's just showing me how the foundation is of your relationship, and that you allow each other to be, and you have this immense understanding. And she gave you this container to express, which is beautiful. I mean, nothing more beautiful than that, knowing there's a person by your side who allows you to do that, to actually be you without even wanting to change you. So I could feel that definitely in your Akashic records, very much shown. And we haven't spoken about that, right? So I just picked that up intuitively. And what another thing, I know you probably have a lot to say.
I do,
Just
but keep going, keep going.
yeah, just because otherwise I lose the flow. And I know there will, out of that, we will have lots to talk about. Life is also very on a, when I tap into on the soul level, I feel the energy, and then I could really feel, and we know you show that as well. Life is really precious to you. Like I can see you soaking in every moment, like, from touching the leaves from the tree, smelling the smell of the flowers or the ocean. Like I feel like you're really, like your soul is really present, and I can feel these moments, these deep experiences that you have. And you are a Pisces, and you also have a Pisces North Node. You are here to feel very, very deep. You're here to experience. You're really here to let go of all the logical, analytical stuff. You're really here to experience, and especially in your day-to-day life, really important for you. And to see the beauty in the messy things, like Aka today. It's kind of was a bit messy with this account and things and lots to do, like seeing the beauty and the mess and not being so, structured and analyzing. But I will talk about it later. And when we do a little bit about your best chart, as I said, it's only little bits that we share today, because otherwise we will fill here and talk 2-3 hours, to be honest. And it's a very beautiful state you're in. I felt like it's very beautiful. Two things for on the contrary, for like, for some shadow work, that was for you to see money is a trigger. And I know that because you are a beautiful mirror of me. Money is a trigger. And but I can see the moment you let go, and you know that from your own experience as well. The moment you let go, it will just flow to you. It will just come out of, will come unexpectedly from places where you don't even think they would have been money or whatever. Nothing you can really predict or anticipate. And I also feel like this year, like by the end of the year, I feel like this year it was shown to me like a lot. It's abundance. It's really a year of abundance in many different ways, but also the money will come in. I could see it like, like raining from heaven, whatever that will mean to you. But I definitely feel this year, because you step into your own power, and the more you start to expressing yourself and really being authentic, the more the abundance will come. It's just a ripple effect on that area in your life. And of course, you will always be pulled back. You will be pulled back, of course, into your old, being and paradigms, and just for you to grow and overcome these challenges. As you know, we have to just see that, and we have to maybe go through a cycle one more time just to see. But it's not, it's not this typical. You shifted already your level of abundance, and I mean the monetary side now has already shifted. You're not like this broke anymore. It has shifted. You just, it will just rise and just shift more. But with every level there comes a new devil. That's the saying, right? So there's something else that will come. So so the challenges will be, of course, with with the money, when there will be like sudden bills coming, just the typical thing what we attract, just in order to be challenged. But then once you let go again of that, then new cycle starts of abundance. But this year will definitely be very fulfilling, and you will shift to another level that you haven't shifted before. And reprogramming yourself systematically. And the other thing of the shadow self, like just for you to know, is like, I know you are on the flow of things, and we see you on the path. And as long as you follow your intuitive insights, you are on, in the flow. But the moment your Virgo South Node is like our old paradigms, everything we bring in from past lives. And Virgo is really analytical and tries to organize. The moment that part of you comes in, it will just, trying to organize and to control, it will stop the flow. And then you will get overwhelmed, and you will want to shut down. And then your Pisces trait of escapism and shutting down will come in, because Pisces likes to escape from reality, from what is happening right now. They just like to be like, all right, there's shit happens, I'm just going to go off in cloud nine. That's just the typical trait. And there's nothing wrong with it. It's just about being aware of that. And so these are two things that you probably will be challenged with throughout the year, and also whilst you be more in your in your element right now, and obviously doing all your social media and connecting with the people and doing the work you do. So yeah, this is what I saw in your Akashic records. Yeah, just
Wow.
like that.
Wow. Thank you, Mia. Thank you so much for that. That's blown my mind. It's exactly where I'm at. And when you're flowing with the vision of going down the river, and then there's people cheering you on as well. Like that's what I've been experiencing lately. Like you find your tribe and the ones that are, your real ones, the ones that you connect to and you resonate with. And obviously you can relate to that, Mia. Um,
Mm.
they're the ones for me that actually like just remind me of the power that I do have, the abilities and the gifts, and that we all do have. Because for me, I know sometimes it can be a little bit like get stuck in the head, come back to the analytical mind of like questioning yourself, judging yourself or self-doubting. And I do have a beautiful group of people. Like we've talked about, obviously, Maddie, Maddie Gamble, and a few
Yeah.
people from our old awakening path. And also Sarah as well, a business coach. Like she messaged me on Friday, and just said, "Do you want to hear it?" sort of thing. I'm like, "Yes, I want to hear it." Like where I'm at. And she's like, "You're a manifester, you're capable of all these things." Like, and just throwing it out at me like exactly what I needed to hear. And I'm like, for fuck's sake, like of course, like I'm just delaying myself, in fear of judgment or just like of whatever it is. But as soon as you have those people, and I found for me on my path, just a couple of beautiful souls, like even before gaining the confidence when I was playing live music, and it was the Big Eagle for me, my best friend. And he would give me that confidence that he sees within me that I hadn't quite yet opened up to within myself. And as soon as I have that, that's just the spark of like, I can fucking do anything. Like, let's go. Let's really just go deep into this. So it's so beautiful when you're saying that. Um, yeah, everything was resonating. And so the Akashic records. So I guess even how long have you been sort of accessing this, Mia, and how did you find yourself opening up to that sort of space? Because I don't know too much about it.
I'm just thinking now, what year was it? Was it 2019? Because I was doing then a trauma transformation, like with a healer, with a mentor. And that came about because Amy, one of my closest friends here in New Zealand, she is a healer as well. And she uses the Akashic Records and she teaches that. We were sort of like awakening to all that stuff at the same time, but individually, apart from each other. And then we met at the gym. I meet all the people at the gym, right? I even met Steve there. And then we started to connect. And the thing is, though, she excelled, like, because she was more that was her journey. She was like really jumping into things, and that's just, I always admired that about her. She literally didn't think. Literally, she put something on Facebook, like a post, and she doesn't even care if that's coming true. She would say, "Oh, I'm moving to France," and she doesn't, you know what I mean? She does those things, and she shares that, really much the opposite of from how we would operate, or definitely me. And so that was a beautiful energy. And she started to really tap into that. And then she read my Akashic records. And then I just through her learned that. And then I started to tap into that myself and practice. And because I've always, been intuitive and, felt energy, and I worked with the moon cycles and stuff. I just, that was just another tool that I added on. And of course, because we all have a blind spot, it is hard to read your own Akashic records. I do practice it by myself, and I have visions, and I go tap into my past lives and stuff. But it is not nice for me if somebody else is reading it, because then I'm not blinded by my mind and I say, "Oh, I make it up." And we all can tap into that, of course. It's all accessible to us. It's basically source energy. And, people write books in the Akashic records. You can work in the Akashic records. It's just that you basically just follow your intuition. And I always relate that to just remembering who you or what you truly are. That's about it. To really deprogram yourself from all the bullshit that is cluttering everything, and just remembering. And I also feel collectively, you probably do too, that there's like this big wave of people are awakening more, and they're really in need of light workers and of people like us who do this work, because they need to understand. They're confused. They're like, "Oh my gosh, what is this?" Whilst we already like have a little bit of more of experience, and we have done this right in about the first levels of it. So yeah, this is how I came about it. And so I learned that everything, literally, everything is self-taught for me. I mean, I had like mentors for sure, but I have not sit somewhere in a course, and I have a certificate that I can show you here. I'm an Akashic record reader. um,
Who
so
would though?
yeah,
Who would have that?
Some people do, some healers do. They claim it, or like light workers and intuitives, whatever you call it, whatever you want to call it. They do, just because it's a paradigm they're still in, that they need this. And I mean, I get caught up in it too sometimes. I feel like, oh, maybe I need to do that, maybe I need to show that on my website to have more credibility, or people will, but then I said, no, it's just an old paradigm that shows up. And saying that, I am always open to do courses. If it shows up at the right time, I will do it, but not from this mindset, I have to do it in order to show something, Yeah.
Do know. Yeah, 100%. Like yeah, it resonates with me as well. Like I was battling through that as well when I was an awakening coach. And then what do I do after that, after the awakening program finished, and then going through my journey? And then I just feel like the more and more it's coming back to the mind, like the mind wants to control the moment of like, okay, yes, I need to get the information so then I can help everybody awaken or whatever it is. But the more you just let go of that, and then all of a sudden things just show up in your life. Like for me recently, it's this Dr. Gabor Mate, who's this Hungarian, I think he's a psychotherapist or just this healer who, is 80 years old, and he's just written some incredible books. And I've just listened to his podcast, like just on repeat the last 2 weeks. And he's just expressing all about like the childhood upbringing and the trauma that they hold, and just the way that he's expressing himself. Like it was when he was expressing these stories, I was just like resonating within my whole being of like, oh, like this is how. And I literally found him through like a TikTok video. I posted a TikTok, and exactly how you said, like when you post it, you can see all your friends. I never scroll on there, but all of a sudden I was open on there, and the next video came was Dr. Gabor Mate, and I looked at it. I was like, I could feel it, and it was a woman talking about she was like a healer as well, or like a psychologist, and she was saying how some people sort of are not responding the way she wants. Almost, this is the way that I'm sort of interpreting it, and it was like actually she was perceiving them with like a judgment of like they're not healed, or like that they've got something wrong with them. And so the way that they were responding were actually a reflection of her perception of the way that they are. She wasn't seeing them as fully healed. So, and then as soon as I seen that, I was like resonating, and then I just jumped on. He had a couple of podcasts with Jay Shetty. I was listening to that, and then all these other books like The Drama of the Gifted Child, talking about like the search for your true self, by Alice Miller. And so I've just got that book, and that's all about diving into the childhood, which is something that through our awakening program, a lot of it was we got the tools of how to witness thoughts, how to meditate, how to be still, and to see the programming, but it was never about the childhood, what happened to you in your first 7 years. It was always like there's always like this moment, like that doesn't exist. The past doesn't exist. The future, it's always now, which is beautiful. However, we're blocking out, like that conditioning, that programming that has taken place, that we can actually explore ways to heal, to actually reframe and to separate from those emotions.
Yeah.
But I feel like all of that had to happen the way that it happened. So then now you have this level of awareness, you can see it, and you're opening yourself up to whatever's coming into your awareness now, like, okay, Dr. Gabor Mate, okay, healing traumas and things like that. Like it just happens, and it's like that river of life, and just literally laying down, just letting yourself flow with that river. Like, this is where I'm at now. Still have no idea what's going to happen with the business or the future or all these things, but just allowing yourself to be flown and let life take you is an important lesson.
And that's beautiful. And with the awakening, it's so funny because I wanted to say something about that. And you're right. It's really important that we had to go through this experience in order to be at this level of awareness. And I'm super grateful. However, I did stop everything during this time, like I was not doing my usual, like I didn't even do like my moon circles, like my ceremonies that I usually would do. I have done that for years. The full moon releasing and new moon intention setting, which is pretty much, a structure. It's a cosmic timer. It reminds you, okay, of like tuning in. What do I need to let go of? Tune in. What is my intention for the months ahead? And I haven't done it throughout the awakening. I literally stopped everything, like with the childhood stuff and all this kind of thing. And it's really interesting. And then when I knew the time is over, it's done, it blossomed again, and I was just tapping back into it and using my crystals, because as much it's right that at this moment everything can change, but some you do have to go through layers. You do have to actually see it first and shed light on the darkness. It has to come out. It just can't be buried away and, oh, this never happened. That's the worst thing you can do. And I know that's not what Steve ever meant. He was just saying it can actually change. It happens in a moment. It does, but it takes probably for some 100 moments to get to that moment.
Yeah.
It's just, that's how I feel. And childhood, a very big topic. And it's, subconscious mind, the programming. And then we bring in some stuff from past lives as well. And I do a lot of inner child work with myself, but also with clients. Like when I do guided, meditations, it's always working with this inner child, reintegrating that into your heart chakra, into your being. It's a soul fragment that's really valid. And if it's seen, if you actually reintegrate it, it just needs to be seen, because we all have, moments in childhood where we weren't heard or seen, or we couldn't express the emotion and feelings, or someone wasn't available for us in that way, how we needed it. And we don't need the parents in order to hear that. We don't need any other person. We can reparent ourselves. And that is so powerful in itself. And it feels maybe uncomfortable at first for people to think, oh, am I going to be my own mother, my own father? And also your older self, your version from today, talking to your younger self, hey, I'm here. I have come that far. All that you've experienced and felt like there, that's just the past. But look what I have created. I have a life, for you, a family, beautiful 3 girls. We live in this house in Perth. I work. I communicate with people, and that itself will just change the energy. Yeah. And being aware of that, I find it very important. Yeah.
That's huge. That's so huge. I've like the whole month of March, I'd say, I've really been tuning into my heart, like from a first thing in the morning, doing this heart opening meditation. And so even circling back to when you're talking about Janina and you've seen her like in a heart, well, I've been doing this heart opening meditation every day of the month of March, pretty much. And the way that you described as well, like it feels like you've just met, like that's exactly what I've been feeling with her. Like, and that's our relationship is open up to a level, like it feels like a honeymoon period. It feels like we're messaging each other and it's like, oh my God, like this is when we first met, sort of thing, which has happened through again, just following that nudge, that intuition of like, oh, here's the next thing. And it was like a meditation on heart, opening your heart. And so now I've been doing that, and now all of a sudden it's like you're not like searching outside of you for the perfect relationship. You're not trying to change, manipulate. It's actually you just coming back and peeling back those layers inside of you that you've put around your heart, put around your identity. And as you start to open that up, and then all of a sudden out there just reflects what's happening inside of you. And we've just been having this incredible opening conversations, and just the way that we express our truth and we talk about how we're feeling in the moment. I'm still coming in and out of making sure that I'm not trying to coach her, because sometimes I do fall into that where I'm coaching her and she's obviously feeling like, you can't coach the ones that you love,
You can't. I know.
Yeah,
I know.
you really can't. Even coaching's funny. Like it's for me, it's reminding of just like asking questions and pointing, because it's not like teaching them anything new. And it's exactly what you were talking about, like with the whole Akashic records of like, it's a remembering. Like everyone has all this information, so it's tuning back into that remembering of what you already know through that. So yeah, that was beautiful, Mia. And then even I guess we could express a little bit of how we first met, and that was through this journey of this awakening program that we're both on. When did it start for you, Mia, where you felt like this intuitive pull to like actually go inside and to look at yourself internally, even before the awakening program? When did that sort of start for you?
Oh, you mean like my own awakenings kind of thing?
Yeah.
It's interesting. Someone else asked me that question just recently. I believe, well, like as a child, I always have already like seen other, like, what do you call, spirits. I have had that already when I was young. I was still open to it. But then obviously teenager phase happened. But I started to work with the moon because my auntie was telling me, because when I had acne, she was saying like, sit under the full moon with a glass of water and speak it away, basically, like asking the moon to take it away. These were like little instructions, those little things. And then later on, I found out when I was 16 that my father was actually a healer, but very hidden, because he was, to the outside, he portrayed that picture of being in a community. He was a teacher, a math teacher and PE teacher, and was always doing sports with the kids, and like this like stern, disciplined but funny type of person. And obviously coming from like from the Hitler time and the East German time, that healing stuff and alternative stuff was not very well seen. But secretly, he was doing it. But I didn't know that. I was too young, and when he passed, I was just 13. So that's my memory from there. And then when I came to New Zealand, even how I came to New Zealand, to be really honest, I picked that very intuitively. It was when I was during my study. I studied sports science, right? And it was like I think I was 22, and I always wanted to go overseas. And so when I was 16, my mom couldn't afford it. I said, "Don't worry, mom, I'm going to do it later. Like not like everyone else, I'm doing it later." So then I was thinking, I remember it was a day at uni, was very stressful, had a bad day. And I thought, oh, let's just look into the future. When will I go? What do I do? And I looked at different countries. And first I wasn't sure. Now the Spanish comes in. Should I go to a Spanish speaking country or to an English speaking country? Interesting, right? And then I thought, no, English, because English is the world language, global language, business language. If I ever want to be successful in Germany, I need to, have that sorted. So anyway, I was not interested in England, Ireland, not interested in America. At that time, there was a big wave of people going to Australia. But then I thought, nah, I don't want to go where everyone else is going. I just go somewhere else. That was me. So I literally saw 3 pictures of New Zealand. I believe one of them was the Bay of Islands. That's where I lived for the first 1.5 years, where it's like really beautiful here, like really different to Auckland. And that was me 2 years later, I think. Yeah, 2 years later, I went to New Zealand. And I had to hear my big, big journey. Honestly, lots of things happened. Like literally, it wasn't all nice, that's for sure. It was partly it was really some hell, but it was all needed for me to be cracked open and to really let go. I understand that now. And I wouldn't want to change any of those experiences as bad as they were, and painful and scary and unsafe as well. And then I believe once I moved from Pahia to Auckland, the circumstances weren't great. I literally didn't know anyone. I just split up from my ex-partner at the time. He cheated on me with another man. And everyone in Pahia knew but me. It was a little bit like the Truman Show. Everyone was watching me and feeling sorry for me, but I didn't know. I was in this like triangle relationship. So I literally escaped overnight with a car from a friend that I borrowed. She was in Germany. And I said to everyone, I'm just going to an interview. I come back. But what I did, I packed all my clothes, but 2 boxes, if that. I didn't have much. And I just left, came for an interview to Auckland for a swim school. And she happened to have, like, talking about synchronicity, she happened to have a free room at her place as well. So I literally got the job, room, and all that. So from there on, like, I went through, like lots of shit basically. And then I started to tune in more because one of my friends, she knew, okay, she saw, okay, Mia's in a bad space, and, she could just feel, and she happened to have a friend, she was flight attendant, that is a reader. And she said, she's going to do a free reading for you. I give that to you. And from there on, it all started, because she knew things that she couldn't possibly know or ever find out anywhere. And she also channeled my papa. That was crazy, because I cried for about 3 weeks, like literally, because that was the first time I started to allow emotions, coming back to emotions now, because when he died, I just turned 13. And for whatever reason, I had this in my mind, I have to be strong for my mom and for everyone else and for his sister. And I was only 13. So they all cried, but I didn't allow myself to be upset. I just was the one, okay, I need to take care of everyone. And that's what I did. I stepped into that role of I need to take care of everyone, but never allowed myself to grieve. I mean, I was a girl that lost her father, right? And so, yeah, that's when it all started. And then for some reason with Lauren was her name. Yeah. When she did a reading, we started to be in touch, and she could sense, okay, there you are, a healer. You have all these, this gift. And then she started to awaken that within me. And it was just remembering, nobody taught me how to walk moon circles. I just went into the library, borrowed some books, about witchcraft and energy and all that stuff, but really hidden, because I was like, oh God, people probably think I'm like nuts, or they would think, all that stuff. And at that time, there wasn't too much on social media or anything like that. And was I already on social media? I can't remember. I think so. But there wasn't too much out there. It just, obviously boomed the last couple of years. But yeah, and then I started doing that. And I had all these synchronicities. I met people like, it's crazy. actually really crazy how it all came together. But it was still a journey for me to come out of my closet. So whilst people would say, "Oh my gosh, you have to show it to other people," I was completely not ready for that. It literally started to happen with me starting to be on social media end of last year,
Mm.
December. Yeah. Sorry, I went a little bit on a
No.
story here, but it just to show people as well that awakening is not this airy fairy thing, and I sit here like a Buddha and there's a halo above my head. Would be nice, right?
Yeah.
But it literally is to experience it because you have to crack open this shell of humanness and to allow the soul to come through again, to speak to you. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. And when you're saying, it makes a lot of sense of like being in the closet, not wanting to share your spiritual side, like your healing side. It makes a lot of sense because what did you talk about with your dad? He went through that same experience of hiding his
Mhm.
healing journey. So that's what you obviously like uncovered is like what is the way to be, because that's what we learn from our environment and from our parents and the close ones around us. So it makes a lot of sense. He didn't want to share it. um,
Mhm.
but I love that. I love there's so many just different little intuitive moments where you're like, oh yeah, gonna go to New Zealand. I don't want to do what everyone else is doing, go to Australia. Like even like I was thinking about my wife as well when you're saying that. Like she came to Perth, I think 2011 was the first time she actually came to Australia, and she just finished her studies. She's going to do occupational therapy as like an apprenticeship in Germany, but she wanted a gap year or whatever. And she was looking into America. She was going to go to the States, but they had like a global financial crisis around that time. And then she had one like Zoom call. It was like called Viber or something back then. She had one call with a family that was over in Perth, West Australia, which she'd never even heard about, like going to Australia. One call and they said, "Can you come in October?" And it was 10 weeks later where she packed all her bags and came over to Australia. And then she was like staying at this house with this beautiful family, looking at like as an au pair, looking after the kids, raising the children. And and then it was like, I don't know, a few months after that, we met like on the beach. It was a Sunday session. I was working away for 4 weeks on, 1 week off. And then I was at the beach on a Sunday with my friend, getting very drunk. And we decided it'd be a good idea to go down to the ocean, have a swim. We did that, jumped in the water, then jumped back up. And then we're walking up the steps, and there was like 4 or 5 German girls walking down the steps. And so I did a beeline, turned around, sat down next to Janina and said, "How you going?" And then all of a sudden, had that connection where we first met. It was all these just little moments that sort of happen, getting out of your own way. And I feel it's so beautiful because in life, for me, it's always when I'm trying to make things happen, or when I'm, pushing and using my mind or analytical thinking about what's going to happen, like that's when the resistance and the frustration comes. But when you do look back on all these beautiful moments of life, a lot of it just comes to you naturally, spontaneously in the moment. It's not really you dictating how it's going to happen. It just happens so beautifully and synchronicity like. So I was just reflecting on that as you're speaking, Mia. It's such a beautiful way to live your life. But then also you're like, oh, but I still got to pay the bills and do the things. So that still has to happen too.
Of course, and I think that is what I really learned through the awakening. I must say, to accept as well, that we are still here. You can't just. I feel like we all have been throughout our awakening or our spiritual journey have been in a phase where we just wanted to be in cloud nine all day. If it was me, I would like to just meditate all day. But then I started to realize, and that's the balance that I come back to, that we are here for the human experience. Our soul is here on Earth School to learn all that. And the moment I started to really live that and accept that, that's when I started to live truly life. Then there was no denial of either side, and just both. That's just how it is, complete and whole. And I feel like that's the state I'm in right now. I literally, honestly, I did a post the other day, last week or so, where I say I live in the I don't know since a couple of months. And it is crazy. Like everything is accelerated. A week feels for me like a month or 2 months, literally, because so much is happening and shifting. And this is just where my season right now, where I have to go, 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 go. It's just ask of me for my own transformation and my own soul journey. Um, because last year everything was stalled. Remember I was sick, I had this injury, boxing wasn't like going great. I wasn't doing my business back then fully, was still my old job, and everything was just stalled. And I always knew intuitively this is all there right now for me to get ready for what is yet to come, because I knew it's gonna go like this and I won't have any time to breathe, or like, of course I'm breathing right now, but you know what I mean, like
Yeah.
just no time to process, which is good. Because the moment, I always say to anyone, if I was to start to think about and starting to structure and analyze everything I need to do and I'm doing right now, I would shut down and I would break down and I would not be able to cope. But as long as I move, I just need to move, then everything will just fall into place. Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And we should probably talk about boxing as well, because there's some exciting news with your boxing. But let's go into like how did you start boxing in New Zealand the first time, or?
Yes, yes, I did. Yeah. I was always drawn to martial arts since I'm little. I mean, I was always watching Mr. Miyagi, Karate Kid. I always loved that. I watched these movies over and over again. And I was always hoping for, like, I want to have a Mr. Miyagi. I want to learn this. I want to go through this. Obviously, that didn't happen because I lived in a little village of, what, 80 people and far, far away from all the stuff. Boxing started here in New Zealand. Yeah. And I started it when I was 30. I'm 36 now. So I started super late, completely the opposite how it's supposed to be, like you start early, become an athlete in that, and, then you can go on to climb the ladder. But it wasn't my story. My story was different. And boxing is one of those sports that you can actually benefit from when you enter later, because you're more mature, because it is really a mind thing. Sure, the physical part, you've got to have to do all that training. Um, which is a cool thing. Of course, if you start early, you have all that programming of the skills, like all these reflexes are just like much more programmed when you start early. The earlier you start, because it's just the repetition, because you kind of do the same bullshit every day. That's how it is. There are 6 different punches, and of course there are millions of different ways how you can do it, but it's always the same. You just have to repeat, repeat, repeat. So when it comes to the fight, your training kicks in your muscle memory, just like with our, subconscious mind. And it was like in a gym. I was in a gym. I was just training, like weight training or something. And someone asked me, "Oh, you train pretty hard for, like a girl like that size, whatever." And he said, "You would be a good boxer. You would. Have you ever done boxing?" And I said, "No." Here's our coach Joey, and he's a Samoan. He was my first boxing coach. And I just said, "Yeah, okay." And so I was meant to meet him. I think the first time he missed our meeting, he was like still in the sauna or whatever. And I just moved on. Then I thought, okay, he had forgotten me. It was interesting. It was a delay. And then the first session we had, it was literally just about fitness, but the first punch on the pads, and I just knew I will be fighting, and I knew this is what I need to do. It was like a remembering. I also know from a reading that I got done from Gaia. She's very popular here in New Zealand and in America. That this is past. I had many, many past lives as a warrior, as a fighter, and Greece. One really dominant past life was in Greece, where I just had my own army that I trained, and I also did healing with them, like putting the leaves on their wounds and stuff like that. So it's basically, it felt like I just remember. And you know what? The very first or the main reason why I got so addicted to boxing first was because it opened me up spiritually. Literally, I felt so connected to my father, my papa. I felt him. He was always there. I felt like I just felt things that I haven't felt before, because the first time in my life, I started to express myself, and I allowed myself to be, to express emotion, anger. Of course, I'm not going to go angry in the ring or so, but I knew during a back workout, I just, this angry energy, that's what I'm trying to say. Angry energy is really stored in my physical body and then my energy body. It was allowed to be expressed, and I feel like that helped me to really open up, to really accelerate things in my life. And look, every boxer starts to dream at the beginning. You dream of the Olympics, the Commonwealth Games, all that kind of stuff. And I was dreaming of that from day one. It was like, for me, it was clear. I'm not just doing that to participate. I'm doing that to go as far as possible. Will it happen? Who knows? We will find out. But it's all about, the soul is not craving to go to the Olympics or become a champion. The soul is craving all the experiences that you have to go through in order to become that person who eventually can go there. And that's something I just started to realize as well. And it's another thing with boxing is you cannot hide. You cannot hide this. Everything will be shown in the ring. You know how you deal under pressure, what you do if you get punched in the face. I mean, it's a story to punch someone, but to get punched in your face, how you react, that will truly show if you're made for it or not. Because a lot of people can do all the back work and punching, but literally getting punched in your face and getting put under pressure, and literally if somebody is super like coming forward and you think for this moment, fuck, I don't know how to get any punch through, to actually remain calm in that storm. Yeah, that's something that boxing taught me, and that is reflected in my life. That if things are going wrong or a lot of stuff happens, I'm just like, all right, I can handle it. I can figure it out. And just constantly being not in your comfort zone, getting out of your comfort zone, because nothing about a fight is comfortable. Nothing is comfortable. From today onwards, because I'm having a fight on Friday and then on Saturday, a new experience for me too. 2 fights back to back. I had back to back, but with a day in between. But 2 fights back to back, I never had that. Plus, I'm gonna represent New Zealand, which is another added element for me, and fighting Australia. Australian is very known for having amazing fighters. They're super fit. They're all like, having talent, all that kind of stuff. And I only found that out last night. It's like a 3-day notice kind of thing. Nothing is going to be comfortable from here on now. That's one thing I know for sure. And all I have is knowing that I have done my best to prepare myself physically. And I can't change anything physically right now. Nothing will happen within 3 days that I can, increase my fitness or anything. It's all the mind now. It's all coming back to like knowing what I'm capable of doing. And throughout that time, I will definitely do visualization and remember those fights that were like, the creme de la creme, where like 4 people who had 80 fights and I only had 8 fights, that I already did that, and reminding myself. And so it gives me more confidence. But yeah, and definitely there's one part of me that would like to run away from that. And the other part is super excited. The other part is like, wow, this is such an amazing opportunity, because yeah, I mean, who doesn't want to represent the country you live in? So yeah,
It's incredible.
there's a
Wow.
lot. Yeah. And funny enough, we don't even know why this is happening. I know I don't even know the background story, but I do know I am not the chosen one in the way. I mean, I am the chosen one, of course, by source. This is how it shows up for me. But for us, like to see. But originally, I'm not in the New Zealand team. I'm in the Auckland team, and Cara, that's because you have ranks and you have to win the nationals, and then you get chosen. That these are like procedures. But she doesn't want to do the New Zealand team anymore, so that's why there's a spot free, and so then I was next option, which is good. Then of course the mind can kick in, and the mind did kick in and say, "Oh, I'm just like the second option. Yeah. I'm just the second option. I'm just lucky."
Mm-hmm.
But understanding energy, and that is something also with the money kind of thing. And I'm always reminding myself, it doesn't matter where it comes from. Don't degrade that. The mind will degrade that right now. The mind will say, you didn't get chosen. You didn't get this. You didn't go through the procedure. It doesn't matter. It is showing up for me right now because I'm ready and I'm meant to be there. I'm meant to do that for this experience. So I saw that right away when this popped up, and I was
I'm
like,
so happy
okay.
you've seen that. And I'm thinking, like, what even is the procedure? Like, coming back to the whole of like, I don't have a license, like, well, who was the first person that received their first certificate, for whatever it is, psychology or coaching or healing, whatever it is, because it's all just an identity and a thought. And when you can witness that, you can actually choose your reality, because you can choose the identity of, I came through the back door or whatever, and this is my experience, or you can choose the identity of like, this is happening for me. This is happening for a reason, because I am ready and I'm here now to step into this experience. So I love how you can just reframe it and witness it and see those thoughts that are going to come. They're the most natural thoughts to come, by the way, of course. They're so natural for those thoughts to come in, as well as like a part of you is so excited, part of you wants to escape and run. Like that's always going to happen, isn't it? When you're putting yourself in that zone of, uncomfortability, the uncomfortable, what's going to happen is those thoughts are going to present themselves naturally as our body's natural defense mechanism to survive, to take us to a comfortable situation. So I'm so grateful, so happy that I got to witness that, Mia. you're expressing that right now. That's so beautiful.
Yeah, and that will be for whoever is watching this, this will be a great yeah thing to witness, and not just for boxing. Then you can take it, for money. Let's say the money, right? And Jen, I work with him as a my business coach, and like he pointed that out when I was starting to regret where money's coming from, because I always thought, okay, when it's not coming from my business, it's not good enough. Whether it is my mom helping me out, or I get a free session from my coach, or, these are all things. And I degraded that and I didn't see that. But he said, energy, everything is energy. So it doesn't matter. It's just like, you labeling it with the mind now. It is just is there for you because you manifested it, you attracted it. So that is a beautiful shift and beautiful seeing. And once you see that, then yeah, it just doesn't matter where it comes from.
Yeah, 100%. And something that comes up for me a little bit, and my wife was saying about the other day, like I always have a thought like my wife realizes something, and I have a thought like, I told you that. But that's how it is when you're really close together. I was talking to my friend
Yeah.
about it at work. He was saying that with his partner as well, and same for me. Like sometimes I'd say something, and my wife's like, "Yeah, I told you that." And it's like, "Oh yeah," because I heard it from like a Joe Rogan podcast or something. Um, but what she was talking about was deflecting of like, you receive a compliment or something, and our natural instinct is to like deflect it almost and just say like, oh yeah, that's nothing. Or like all of a sudden you get this opportunity like, oh yeah, it's because, this person's retiring, or it's because, this is happening. But actually, hang on a second. If someone's giving you a compliment and saying, you look really nice, or that was a really good shot, or you performed a really good fight or whatever, actually just to say thank you and to absorb that
Mm.
in, and just to allow that to come into your awareness and your beingness. Because so often we just deflect that. And what we're doing is we're deflecting the actual unconditional love that they're giving us too, in a way. And it's a program that comes up definitely for me, and probably for you as well, Mia, of like,
Mm.
I don't want the spotlight, or I'm not worthy of this. Like, yeah, oh, thank you very much, but let's put the attention somewhere else. But actually, like, just taking that moment to absorb it and allow that in, it's beautiful to witness that as well.
Mhm. A big yes to that. I absolutely can relate to that, and I can see it how I do it, a lot. But I'm becoming more aware, and then I'm like, okay, take a step back and say thank you. Like the most little things, like when people say, "Oh, you look glowing today," and then I would say, "Oh yeah, I had like good sleep. I had 8 hours sleep," instead of saying, "Oh, thank you." As simple as that. I need to justify why am I glowing.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, you're glowing because you're glowing. It's the energy that you are.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. That's
amazing.
so
Yeah,
true.
yeah. And is there anything else we would like to wrap up before we? Maybe even is there anything else that you could share about? Because I'd like to hear about a little bit about myself. Is there anything you want to express regards to my reading that you did?
Yes, because half of it, what we wanted to talk about, we didn't talk about, but I knew that's going to happen because I will do the full one. I will do like a really long voice message for you, a recording, basically like a podcast for yourself that you can listen to. What I wanted to point out though, that the like astrology or the birth chart is like, a symbolic archetypal language. So sometimes people come in and they have this expectation that you can give them a prediction of 3D manifestation, like, yes, you're gonna have a red suit and you're gonna have a business with flowers or whatever. That's what they expect. But none of that will ever come out of a birth chart reading or astrology. It's all about energy. But you knew that. So what I just wanted to say, because your sun sign, your moon, we have talked about the Virgo. Definitely you were born during a full moon. That is one thing. I feel like it's important for people to know what moon phase you were born in, because that is a time
Wow.
that you will always be at your best energy, because where you literally you are definitely moon sensitive, but also during the full moon is something where you kind of like you amped up, your body feels good, your mind feels good, and you get a lot of stuff done. I'm not sure if you have noticed that, whilst others will definitely maybe be more tired, because there are other people like full moon is all about releasing and letting go. They will be like more sluggish. It can be heavy because you will be forced to, yeah, all the stuff that's going on within us will be drawn to the surface. That's what the moon energies do. And the moon is all about our emotions. That's why I'm so intuitively drawn to it, because emotions, big thing in my life, suppressing it, not showing it, and so on. You can see like how it all relates now. And observe yourself. Use the full moon. The full moon is a beautiful time for you to actually also manifest. Although it says letting go, but for you, it's actually to really also manifest and put things into action to close, to finish the cycles, basically. You also have this cardinal energy. Cardinal energy is about it's related to Capricorn, and it's all about cardinal signs are all like when new season starting, like Gemini and Libra, I believe, yeah, these are cardinal signs, but it's really starting new things. You bring this new fresh energy, and it's something that really elevates your energy level as well, something that stimulates you, something you need to start new things. You like to endeavor new things as well. That's just like, if you don't have that, you can easily go into, like a very more, resisting energy, and maybe even kind of depressed, like low energy, low frequency, being like, it's so dull. But you need to create as well, as like your Pisces is all about creation and creativity and expressing your artistic side. Very important to you. And what I wanted to point out is the North Node and the South Node in the birth chart, which is, when you have a compass, the North Node is what we need to move into in this lifetime. Like, that will be basically out of our comfort zone. And South Node is all the memories, all the skills, everything we are really good at that we bring from past lives. But most likely those things we have overdone in past lives. And that's why we are here to do the opposite. Really interesting. You do have a little bit of a challenging placement here, but because your North Node is in Pisces in the sixth house. Sixth house in astrology is all about your day-to-day life. What I said before, your work of service, your routines, your health, your, exercising routine, all that stuff. And your South Node is in Virgo, 12th house. 12th house is the overarching house of astrology, about, transcendence, our inner self, our biggest fears and dreams, like really the shadow work as well, and our spirituality. Virgo and Pisces are both signs that really like to be of service, but Virgo more in a very structured way. And so Pisces is really about what I said before, about this experiencing. And because your South Node is in an earth sign, Virgo, it is challenging because you have to do the opposite in this lifetime, to really let go of this, this Virgo memories of like analyzing, controlling, organizing. They're very health conscious as well. And perfectionism is something that really is detrimental, because they are really perfectionists. And it's really true. I know, I can feel that. And you are having this eye for detail. So if you are entering a room or something, you will immediately see something that is not right or not in order, not just as with objects, but also with energies. You will feel that. So that's a good trait to have. When I say moving into North Node, doesn't mean we need to let go of everything from the South Node, right? You just have to morph more into the North Node. And with past life memories, you definitely, you have been of service. It's a big strength to you. And you are like, Virgo is, you bring this energy in. You need to feel needed. You need to feel needed by people. That's something. That's a biggest fear of you, not being needed, not being of service, not being able to give. It's the biggest fear. And with Virgo as well, I just had a thought about it. They are when they give service, they're more practical. And so they have like past lives more like, like a doctor, very precise, surgeon, eye for detail. These kind of past lives, you would have like this kind of service, but also very good at bookkeeping, accounting, because of all the structure and thinking. And that was what I wanted to say. Virgo energy, you like to fix people. You like, you like it dirty, whether it be like dirty as an objective, like to clean things, but also helping people, on a psychological, emotional, spiritual level. The work you do right now, it's something you just like coming natural to you. It's just something that your soul also remembers, and you will continue to do. But you're here with your service now, with what you need to learn here in this lifetime, is to you will be bringing back people to the intuition, to the intuitive side, this more experiencing, rather than this like structured, like doctor having like a certain set of things that you need to do. It's more like what you do. It's exactly what you do right now. This like complete, like being in your being, this groundedness, and teaching that to others, being that light. Also, as you know, your nature, that you having this affinity to nature is coming from Virgo South Node, because Virgo is very health conscious and very much related to nature. Like, you really need this grounding time in nature. That's really important for you. That by now, that energizes you. And you need that more than the average person. Like really lots of time in nature. That's where you also find all your wisdom and where you connect and with your heart chakra. So that's a good remembering what you do already. So one thing, what was it? Yeah, about relaxing. Yeah, relaxing your mind, like relaxing and being in the mess and seeing the beauty in the mess. I think I've mentioned that at the beginning, like because Virgo likes the structure and order. Um, you do that as well when you're emotionally a little bit out of balance. Then you like to structure because you want to try to control your emotion through the structure on the outside. It's a Virgo trait. That's how you feel emotionally stable. But with the Pisces, you really have to just enjoy the moment and how life is literally presenting itself, and the mess. See the beauty in the mess. Very important for you to really let go of that, trying to organize everything. So, which I find you are doing what you're doing right now. So you don't have a work that needs precision. You don't need a work that needs precision. You're actually doing the work now that has flow, that is intuitive, that is artistic, that is using your intuition and imagination. So you are, as I said, the Akashic Records, you are on the right path. You're really following that now. So you're stepping into your not more and more. So you're growing into that being. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Mia. Wow. That's when you were saying that as well, I could feel like I definitely embrace the messiness having 3 kids in the house. And it's just can be chaos sometimes. I embrace it, but I was thinking about my wife because I think she's usually a week before her period. And then that's when she gets really likes to have a real clean house, likes to organize everything. So I wonder if that's when the Virgo's coming in for her, or if she's very much operating.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, that will definitely be heightened throughout the, like menstrual cycle, because there will be certain hormones that are just elevated. So yeah, I think you are, and not I think, we know you're on the right path. And always remember that it will be always a bit of a challenge for you, because you will the grounding and the Virgo, the earth sign, will always try to pull you back. It's a very like contra thing, because like Pisces is water, like the flow of water and like feeling, lots of feeling, right? Virgo is very earthy. Although your overall chart, you have a lot of earth signs. I believe it was 14 elements, the element of water, only 4 fire. So what can indicate sometimes that you need a push sometimes, the motivation, or like the drive, the assertiveness. That's what I'm trying to say. Because we know that, because you are recovering from being a people pleaser. So am I. I'm always saying I'm a recovering people pleaser. I heard that from a healer somewhere online, and I just took that on. I think Lee Harris is his name. So if he ever watches that, that's from him. I love that saying, because that's how I feel. And the drive, the assertiveness, the goal, the making the decision and being like, okay, that's where I need to go. That is, it's something you need to work on more. Whilst the earthiness and the groundedness, your calm nature is just very natural to you. You don't even need to do anything. You just are it. Yeah.
Thank you, Mia. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for your energy. You're such a beautiful, bubbly energy all the time whenever I connect with you, and such a beautiful mirror for me. I feel like we're like the same person, with a lot of
Yeah,
our
same.
programming and energy, and where we're at in life. Like wherever I'm at, I always check in with you, and you're pretty much in the same place. They're going through same experiences, even if they're like radical or extreme, whatever it is. It's like, oh yeah, Mia's there too. So it's always comforting to know I have a beautiful friend that's going through the same shit as me.
Yeah,
But
same. I feel the
yeah.
same.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
also always a pleasure to connect with you, and so grateful that we actually have found each other and connected through the Awakening program, and now keeping in contact. And I believe there's a move on the boards for you to over in Europe and Spain, coming back to that, what you're experiencing with the Spanish language.
Yeah, 6 weeks. I'm going to Germany first for a couple of months, and then Spain. And people ask me where, what, how, when, and I say, I don't know. I will figure it out.
I love that mantra. Hey, I
Yeah.
don't know. There's so much beauty and power within the I don't know, because who is the one that knows anyways?
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. I love it's my favorite, has become my favorite answer. Has become my favorite answer. Yeah.
Yeah,
So I'm
it's
embracing it. Mm.
beautiful. Great. And I guess before we leave as well, like how can people who are listening to this, how can they find you? Where's the best place to find you, Mia?
Instagram or Facebook? Yeah. That's the best place. And I can also send you my link to my website if people are
Mhm.
interested, what I'm doing. And yeah, but I guess Instagram, Facebook, because I do my daily reels and I will share my story and what I'm doing and this boxing and all other stuff. So yeah, that's where people can find me. And then if they feel drawn, we can connect. Always happy to have new connections with people. Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful, Mia. We'll have a list of on the show notes of your TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and your website as well, so people can connect with you. Um, yeah, but thank you so much for taking the time out of your day and actually expressing all of your truth. You're such a beautiful, resonating being that's just so authentic as well, and that's something that I really inspire to be is to be my true self and authentic. And I feel like that's all you ever do is you fully show yourself up authentically, and I love that. That's why I love you, Mia, because you're so good at being you.
Thank you. And I love you for that. Honestly, I didn't even feel we are on a podcast. Yeah, I just felt like we are just talking with each other. You make it so easy, right? Because you are my mirror and you are you and you have this beautiful love. And I love you for who you are. And I'm grateful that we just had this chat with each other and we exchanged and noticed not just on the level of words, but the frequencies and energies that are felt. So thank you. I'm grateful. I feel honored to be here. And yeah, whoever's listening to that, I love you all, guys. And yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Love you all as well. Have a beautiful day, everyone. Bye bye.